Hi. As a school bus driver, one of the most important parts of your job is the pre-trip. So today I'm going to be showing you how to do a proper pre-trip. As you approach your school bus, you're going to make sure that the bus is not leaning from one side to the other. There are no visible leaks underneath the school bus. Your school bus sign is visible. You have a valid inspection sticker. There is no visible damage to the bus. Your windshield is unbroken. And your license plate, you're going to note the number and you're going to make sure that it is secure to the bus. And now I'm going to set my wheel chock so I can do my air brake inspection. Into the bus, I'm making sure that the rubber on my door is secure, my windows are secure, my handrail is secure, and the steps and the rubber matting is all secure. As I enter the bus, I'm also checking my fire extinguisher, making sure that it is properly charged, the pin is in, and that it has been inspected. I'm also checking my 3 reflective triangles, making sure that I have 3 of them and they are secure. I'm also checking my first aid kit, making sure that it is full and secure, and my body fluid cleanup kit, that is also full and secure. Checking that my fans are secure, my student mirror is secure, my visor is secure, and my windshield is secure. I'm checking my accident reports, making sure that I have my accident reports, and also my registration, that it is dated, and that the license plate matches the plate on the bus. I'm also checking that I have a valid insurance card. I'm also going to be checking my DVIR and making sure that the previous day there were no defects and that the bus is good to go. Now I'm going to sit in my seat, make sure that the seat is adjusted for me, and I'm going to put on my seat belt. I'm going to turn my key to the stop position, wait for all my gauges to sweep, my parking brake should stay on, and the ABS light went on and went off again. Now that my gauges have settled, I'm going to release my parking brake and after my initial loss, and that's those gauges. After the initial loss, I will be timing for 1 minute to make sure that I don't lose more than 2 PSIs in 1 minute. Once that minute is up, I will be doing my applied pressure test. I'll be putting my foot on the service brake. And after the initial loss, timing again for 1 minute to make sure that I don't lose more than 3 pounds of pressure. At the end of that minute, I will be pumping my brakes down, checking for my emergency braking backup system, looking for my light and buzzer to come on at or around 60 pounds of pressure. I'll continue pumping down, waiting for my parking brake or spring brake to pop out between 20 and 40 pounds of pressure. And the brake has popped out. Now I'm going to start the bus, increase my RPMs to 1200, and I'm going to be waiting for my air pressure gauges to build up, and I'm going to time my rate of pressure buildup between 85 and 100 pounds of pressure. It should never be any more than 45 seconds. gauge has reached 85 pounds of pressure. I'll begin timing. My top gauge has reached 100 pounds of pressure, and that took 25 seconds. Now I'm going to resume normal idle and wait for my pressure to build to at or around 120 pounds of pressure, and listen for my governor to kick out, which tells me that my air tanks have reached capacity and the compressor is shutting off. And that's the sound I'm looking for. Now I'm going to release my parking brake and pump my brakes down to 95 pounds of pressure. And watch my gauge and wait for the needle to move, which will tell me that my compressor has kicked on. Once the needle starts to move, and the needle has started to move, now I need to secure the bus and go and remove my wheel chocks. And now I'm going to remove my wheel chocks. Now I'm going to get back on the bus and complete the brake test. I'm going to sit in my seat and put my seatbelt back on. I'm going to put my bus in drive and check my neutral safety switch. My bus should not start when the bus is in drive. Bus did not start. I'm going to put the bus back in neutral, and I'm going to start the bus. I'm going to close my door. I'm going to run through my gears, checking my reverse beeper, making sure that I can hear it, and also beeping my horn to make sure my horn works. I'm going to run through all my gears, listening for any unusual noises, and making sure that it goes into gear without any difficulty. Now I'm going to test my parking brake. With my parking brake on, I'm going to rev my engine up to 1100 RPMs, making sure that the parking brake holds and the bus does not move. And that did fine. Now I'm going to release my parking brake, and I'm going to be checking my service brake. I'm going to go forward, increasing to 5 miles per hour, and then stopping the bus, making sure that the bus doesn't pull to one side or the other. And the bus did not pull, and the bus stopped. I'm going to secure the bus, and now I'm going to check my rest of my driver's compartment. I'm going to make sure that I don't have any more than 2 inches of play in my steering wheel, and I'm going to turn my steering wheel all the way to the left at this time. I'm going to put on my headlights, put them on to high beam, make sure that my indicator light works, and I'm going to put my right directional and left directional on, making sure that they work in the indicator lights. Then I'm going to put on my 4-way hazard lights, making sure that they're working in the indicator lights, and also looking outside in my crossover mirrors to make sure that they are working. I'm also going to check my windshield washers and the wipers, making sure that they are working on all speeds, and they are. And then I'm going to start with my panel check. I'm going to make sure that my fans are working on all speeds. Also, my heaters are all working. Listening for my heaters, making sure they're all working. My defroster fans are working. My switches for my heated mirrors. My driver dome lights are working. My passenger dome lights are all working. Also checking putting on my master switch and checking my amber lights My amber lights are working in Elmo, and I'm also looking in my crossover mirrors to make sure they're working outside of the bus. Crossing gate switch is also working. At this time, I will be doing an interior check of the bus. I'm checking that all my window stops are in place. I'm also checking that the matting on the floor is all secure, no rips or tears. The ceiling panels and the side panels are not falling or damaged, no screws are missing. I'm also checking that my seats are secure, both the backs and the bottom cushions, and I'm also making sure that there's no graffiti on the buses or any damage to the seats. When I get to the back of the bus, I'm making sure that my emergency door is properly labeled, the light is on, my head bumper is secure, all of my windows and the rubber gaskets around the windows are secure, and my emergency door is properly labeled. I'm going to be opening up my door, looking outside, checking that my amber and four-way lights are working, four-way hazard lights. Those are all working properly. Now as I come down the bus, I'm going to be checking to make sure that all my emergency exits are labeled and that they open freely and the buzzers work. Checking this hatch, making sure that it opens. Buzzer worked and it opened freely. These two emergency windows. Buzzers are working and they open freely. And this hatch opens freely, properly labeled, and the buzzer works. Now I'm going to shut off my four-way hazards, put on my left directional, make sure that my high beams are on, make sure that my steering wheel is pushed all the way over to the left-hand side. I'm going to open up my door, making sure that the door is opening freely. I will close it again to make sure that it closes and open it again. I'm also checking up at my Elmo, making sure that my reds are on in my Elmo. Now I'm going to be going outside of the bus, checking the outside. My step light is working, my head bumper is secure. I'm checking my handrail, I'm checking my hood lock, I'm checking my step up, my mud flap, my mirror is secure. I'm checking my tire for inflation. I'm looking behind my tire, checking my ear line, my leaf spring, and my shock. I'm making sure that there is no damage to the outside wall of the tire, no cracks and no bubbles. I'm making sure that my rim is in good condition. I'm checking all my lug nuts to make sure that they are secure and that there's no leak in the hub. I'm also checking my valve stem and cap, making sure they are secure. My tire tread depth can be no less than 4 32s, and you cannot have retreads or recaps on the front tires. Light is secure, crossover mirror and bracket is secure, my crossing gate is secure. At the front of the bus, I'm checking my clearance lights, my SOS lights, again the general condition of the bus. My hood is secure, my bumper is secure, and now there are no leaks now that the fluids are running on the bus. My headlights are working on my beam, and my left directional is working. Making sure that my mirror is secure, my light is secure. Looking underneath, checking my fitment arm, my drag link, my steering box, my leaf spring, my shock, my slack adjuster that I have no more than 1 inch of play, and my air hoses are all in good shape. Again, tread depth no less than 4 inches My rim is in good shape. My valve stem is secure. My lug nuts are all secure, and there's no leak in the hub, and the hub is secure. My mud flap is secure. My step up is secure. My hood latch is secure. My handle is secure, and my mirror is secure. My stop sign, the lights are working and it is out. My fuse compartment, there's nothing unusual, and the latch is working properly. My battery box, the latch is working, it's secure, and there's no corrosion on the tape, and it closes properly. Now I'm going to be looking down the side of the bus. I have 1, 2, 3 clearance lights. All of my windows are in good shape. My emergency exits are labeled and have reflective tape. The side of the bus is in good shape. I have my side directional working. Plainfield Public Schools, the phone number, owner operated, is all visible. And I have 1, 2, 3 clearance lights. Now I'm going to be checking underneath the bus. I'm going to be looking at my transmission, making sure there's no leaks under that. Looking at my muffler and tailpipe, making sure I see no leaks. And also checking my differential in the back and looking between my rear tires and checking my tank. Checking my inflation on my tires, both tires, making sure there's nothing between my tires. My leaf springs look good. General condition of the tire is in good shape, no cracks, no bubbles. Rear tires can be no less than 2 and 32s, and you can have recaps on the back tire. My hub, there is no leaks. My hub nuts are in good shape. My lug nuts are all secure. My rim is in good shape, no dents, no wells. My valve stem and cap on both tires is secure. My mud flap is secure. Looking underneath the bus, I'm checking my tailpipe and also checking the opposite side tires, making sure that the leaf springs and shocks and the inside tire is in good shape. All of that appears to be good. Coming around the back of the bus, I'm checking my 3 clearance lights at the top, my school bus sign, my emergency exit door is labeled and has reflective tape, my SOS lights are working, all of my windows are in good shape, the rubber around the windows is in good shape. No visible damage to the back of the bus. My left directional is working. All of my lens covers are unbroken and the lights are on, the running lights. I will check my backup and brake lights with the buddy. I have 2 reflectors. My license plate is secure and it matches the front. My bumper and my tailpipe are both secure. I'm going to be opening up my back door with my weakest arm, making sure that it opens freely, making sure that my safety latch is working and the rubber around my door is good, and the buzzer's working. That's all good. Coming around the bus, I'm looking down the side of the bus, making sure that I have 1, 2, 3 clearance lights. My emergency exits are labeled and have reflective tape. My windows are all in good shape. The condition of the side of the bus is in good shape. Plainfield Public Schools, the phone number, capacity 77, no CADs and owner operated, and diesel is all marked properly. I have 1, 2, 3 reflectors. I'm going to look underneath the bus, check my tailpipe and my opposite side tire, leaf spring and shock from this perspective. My mud flap is secure. My tire inflation is good. There's nothing between my tires. My leaf springs are in good shape. The sidewall of my tire is free of bubbles or cracks. Again, tire tread depth can be no less than 2 32s on the rear tires, and you can have recaps. My rim is in good shape. My hub is in good shape. My hub nuts are in good shape, none loose, and my lug nuts are all in good shape. My valve stem and cap on both tires is good and secure. Looking underneath the bus, I'm making sure that there's nothing between my tires. My tailpipe is good. No leaks under my fuel tank. My tank paint is good. I'm going to open up and make sure that my fuel cap is secure. Now I'm going to go in the bus, turn my steering wheel all the way to the right, put on my right directional, and put my headlights down to low beams. Making sure that my slack adjuster has no more than 1 inch of play. My shaft and my leaf spring are all in good shape. Checking that my headlights are on low beam. My right directional is working properly. Walking down the side, checking my side directional. And checking my back directional on the right side. And that completes a pre-trip of a school bus.